Welcome back to IndieFaith. You're here with Jules and Mary. And Mary, do you want to intro our topic?
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about what do you identify as if you were born in New Zealand or Australia to Islander parents? Great question.
That's a great question that I'm still struggling with the answer. I don't know, because like to me, I feel like I'm Kiwi because
you're born in New Zealand, and I'm born here in Australia. So I feel like you are.
Yeah. But a lot of times, like I would say, I'm Kiwi, but no, you're not.
Yeah.
You're Samoan. I'm like, but I was born in New Zealand.
Yeah.
But you're Samoan.
Yeah.
Like that's your nationality. I was like, yeah, no, that's my nationality.
Yeah.
But I thought I'm Kiwi.
Yeah.
And but then I'm also like, but I'm also not Samoan. I am Samoan, but I wasn't born in Samoa, so I'm not Samoan in that way.
Yeah.
But that's confusing.
It is, because for me, born here in Australia, dad's straight from Sa, born and raised there. And then mum was born in New Zealand, but, brought up, she's obviously Sa as well. So for us, for the ones born here in Australia, my mum is the most proud New Zealand Kiwi you'll ever know. And she also embraces being Samoan. Yeah. But she is really proud of being a Kiwi because us as kids grew up where we supported the All Blacks no matter what. And I remember as a kid, I had actually supported the Wallabies in one of the... She's laughing because she knows how my mum is like the number one All Blacks fan. Your number one All Blacks fan is my mum. Why would you even test that? Like, try it. Because I'm born here in Australia. So I'm just like, well, isn't that who I'm meant to support as well? Like, can't I support both? Yeah. Or is it okay if I support the Wallabies? Yeah. And my mum was just not having it. Yeah. She was just like, nah.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
What'd you say, Mary?
You support the All Blacks.
Get out.
Yeah. You bring dishonor.
I disown you.
I might as well have been. But yeah, so for us, as it was really hard for me to figure out what I am because kids at school would be like, well, what are you?
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, I'm Samoan. And then just like, okay. So, but where were you born? And I'll be like, I was born here.
Yeah.
And they're like, so you're an Aussie. And then I'm like, I'm Samoan.
Oh, wow. So you were the opposite.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mine was, if you're born here, you're an Aussie.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I feel like growing up, I had to choose.
Yeah.
So it was either like, especially within my own family, I was born here, but your mother's from New Zealand.
Yeah.
And you're Samoan.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, true.
But looking back, I'm just like, I'm all of it. I'm an Australian-born Samoan.
Yeah.
Like I was born from a Kiwi mum and a Samoan dad. And I was born here. So that's who I am.
To be honest, like I never experienced that confusion until I came to Australia.
Oh.
Like, because like in NZ, because you're there in NZ, like the same as you, like you wouldn't associate yourself as a Kiwi because you're in NZ.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so then you associate yourself as what your nationality is, which is Samoan. So like when I went to school, like you had the Samoan kids, you had the Tongans, you had, the Māoris, and it's like, but we were all Kiwi because we're all born there.
Yeah.
So we didn't look at each other like we were Kiwis. We looked at each other by our ethnicity.
Okay.
And so it wasn't until I came to Australia, for some reason, like I think because mom was also like such a proud Kiwi that she would say, I'm a Kiwi because she's now in Australia.
Yeah.
And so, and this whole rivalry thing.
Yeah.
So mom would be like, no, I'm a Kiwi.
Yeah.
Like I'm not an Aussie. Or like that's where the confusion came in because then I was like, oh, I'm Kiwi. And then they're like, but so are you married?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I'm Samoan.
Yeah.
And we're like, but you just said you're Kiwi.
Yeah. And then you have to explain sometimes what a Kiwi is.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't know if this is the correct term for it, but for me, anyone born in New Zealand and you're of a different ethnicity besides Māori, you're a Kiwi.
Yeah. Yeah. But then like, you know how you said here, you will say you're Samoan. If you were to go overseas, what would you call yourself? Like when someone says like, ask you what you are, or what would you say?
I tell them I'm Samoan.
Oh.
And then when they ask where were you born? I'm like, I was born in Australia, but my background is Samoan.
Ah.
But it was really confusing because again, mum's a Kiwi and because again, you're right. There's such a rivalry between Australia and New Zealand. And some of it's just friendly, like, you know, competition, especially the Wallabies and the All Blacks. Yeah. So a lot of it's like that. So mum confused me in that sense where I was like, well, am I Kiwi then? Because she would tell me like, you're a Kiwi. And I'm like, but I'm not. Like my brother is because he was born in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And then because we kept coming back and forth.
Yeah.
But for me, born here, I'm an Australian born Samoan.
Yeah.
That's just how I identified myself as.
Well, so would you have to say that, like, I'm an Australian born Samoan? Like, that's what you identified yourself as?
I think for me, I would just say that I'm Samoan.
Yeah.
I'd be like, but then they'd ask,
whereabouts in Samoa?
Yeah. And then I'd be like, and I say where my parents are from. Yeah. But then they would ask, but where were you born? Yeah. And then when I say I was born here in Australia, they're just like, so you're an Aussie? Yeah. And at the time when you're young, I didn't like that. Oh. I didn't like being called Aussie because, again, like when you're brought up in a home where...
Yes, I 100% understand.
So when you're brought up in a home where it's you know, very proud of being Kiwis and Samoan, that's all. It's you're that. You're not an Aussie. Yeah. And it was really like I hated it. Like a part of me hated that I was born here. Yeah. And I used to get mad at mum, like, couldn't you just have me over there then?
But it's only one sibling, eh? Out of the six of you, it's only one. Out of six of us, my one brother, and he makes it known too, because he that's one of the things I think he loves about himself as well, is it makes him different to us. Yeah. Because again, like he knew it would bother me that I was called an Aussie, because he would call me that. And then I'd get angry and I'd be like, no, I'm not. Yeah. But it's weird because the older I'm getting, the more I'm starting to look at myself as Aussie. Yeah. Because I lived here longer than I did when I was like in NZ. Yeah. Remember that? Like, it's like, who is it? Who's that celebrity? Like Russell Crowe. Is it Russell Crowe? He was born in NZ. Yeah. But he was raised here in Australia and he's proud Australian. Yeah. Yeah. It's like that. Yeah. And then the Kiwis, like, but no, you're Kiwi because you were born in New Zealand. But he's like, but he's going around saying he's Australian. Yeah. So it's like you get so much hate with what you're like identified as.
You do. Especially from your own loved ones. Because I remember you guys as kids, you would call me that too. Yeah. And it used to bother me because you were a lot older than me, and then it's Stella, like my brother. And before our other younger siblings came along and your younger siblings came along, it was just mainly us. Yeah. So then for me, I was the outsider because you were all New Zealand born. Yeah. And I was the Australian born. Yeah. So
I felt the only one at that time.
So I felt really like isolated. Not part of the group. And I'm not going to lie, I was a very annoying child. I was very... So I already knew that I had that going for me. But then...
what child isn't?
Yeah, but I was extremely like... Yeah. So I think that's another reason why I didn't like to be called an Aussie, because it was such a negative phrase or term within my own family. Yeah. Yeah. But you're right, because as I get older now, I embrace it. Yeah. Because it's where we were brought up and where I was born. So it's home.
Yeah. It wasn't until I met Rob that I realized it is your country of birth. Or actually, no. Yeah. It's your country of birth, what we tend to identify ourselves as, because he was born in South Africa.
Oh yeah,
but his like I said, his parents are mixed.
Yeah,
and it's like you can't identify him as like Spanish or Portuguese or like all the other mixes because it's just a lot of mixes.
Yeah.
So he couldn't go around saying, "Oh yeah, I'm Spanish with Portuguese, blah 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 blah." To him, he's like, "I'm South African."
Okay.
Because it's like that's where you were born, so that's what you were.
But I feel like it's such a loaded question, because I feel like maybe Rob had it a bit easier then because he was born in South Africa, so he can identify as South African. Whereas I'm not saying it is. Like I'll probably ask him later and ask him. But for me, being born here and then trying to explain to different people what I am, it was really annoying for me. Yeah, especially because again, the whole rivalry thing in school, I used to get I wouldn't say bullied. Yeah, but I got into a lot of arguments with certain kids because they'd say things like go back to your country or whatever. And because I'd be so against saying I'm an Aussie. And then they would be like, well, if you don't like it, then go back to wherever you're from. But then I'd get confused as well because I'm like, but I was born here then.
This is where I'm from.
Yeah. So it was just like, and then I don't know. I think it's just trying to figure out who you are. Yeah. Like having that sense of identity. You're just trying to figure out like who you are. When you're young, you're still trying to work it out. Yeah.
And it's confusing because then you have certain people tell you, well, no, that's not what you are.
Yeah.
But also like over here, like I can understand why you would identify yourself as Samoan rather than Aussie, because living in Australia, Aussies are the white Australians.
Yeah.
That's what we refer to as Aussies.
Yeah.
I think the same in NZ, like, the Kiwis would be the white New Zealanders. And so we would, like to us, like if we were living here in Australia and saying, well, we're Aussie, and they're like, hey, you're clearly not.
Yeah.
Like, you're not white.
And you're just like, yeah, I know, but I'm still Australian.
Yeah. And then they're like, yeah, but what? And then that's when they press you, like, but what are you? Like,
yeah. But you can't please anyone, really, because if you tell them where you're from, and then like, but where were you born? And then you tell them where you're born.
But where were your parents born?
Yeah. And then you're just like, do you want everything? Do you want to meet them? Like, buy me a drink.
My birth certificate.
What is this? Why are you interrogating me?
Yeah. But yeah, so like it's confusing because at the same time, like I shouldn't sort of, well, not I shouldn't, but it doesn't make sense that I would call myself a Kiwi when in New Zealand they're referred to as the white New Zealanders. And then same with here, like it'd be weird to like call yourself an Aussie when here we refer to them as the white Australians.
Yeah.
So that's why we say, oh no, I'm Samoan.
Yeah.
But then the Samoans are like, no, you're not, because you're not born from there.
Yeah. And then you're just like,
what am I then? I'm alien. I'm from Mars.
I don't know who I am, okay? I don't know. It's like, you figure it out. You tell me what I am then.
You pick and choose.
Yeah. Because for me, I found that the majority of times where I would be asked, what am I? It's mainly people who are Palagi.
Yeah.
And I don't know. For me, it's like, it's a sensitive topic, but racism is very real. Yeah. And for me, the only times I've encountered racism is with Palangis.
Wow.
I've never had any other, besides our own, like,
besides us.
Yeah. Besides, and it's not even, it's one of those where we're equipped to handle that. Yeah. Like we know what it's like and we have certain ways of dealing with it. Whereas when it's against a different, like sort of people. Yeah. It's a lot more, I don't know.
Yeah. No, like it's like, it depends on the crowd you're talking to. Then that's where you alter your what you are.
Yeah, because sometimes you have to hold back on your inner like poly self, because like if you obviously like interviews or like with other people, you have to sort of demonstrate to them that you are like you're educated and you act in a certain way. Yeah. Because when you're around different, you're right. When you're around different circles, you act differently.
Yeah. Yeah. So for like the majority of my life, ever since I moved here, I've always called myself a Kiwi.
Okay.
I don't know. I avoid the question now. Like I just like because I'm like now I'm like, but I've only been like, to be honest, I've been in Australia longer than I've been in Kiwi. Like, am I still Kiwi?
Yeah.
Like, that's when when I got older, I was like, I'm not sure if am I even a Kiwi?
Yeah.
And so I'll just, I'll like go, I'm Samoan.
Yeah.
But then when I'm talking to Samoans, I'll say I'm Kiwi.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know.
I guess the question of like, what do we identify as? It depends on who's asking.
Yeah.
I guess that's the answer. Yeah. Because it really does depend on who's asking. Because if it's an Australian person asking, we tell them we're Samoan.
Yeah.
And then if it's a Samoan asking, we tell them we're like, I feel like I tell them I'm Samoan. Yeah. And there are instances where they don't accept that. They're like, no, you're not, because you weren't born in Sa.
Yeah. Or you think that they think you're Afakasi.
Yeah. They do. I've gotten a lot of that. Class. Yeah. We're not Afakasi. Both our parents are full Sa.
Samoan.
As much as our mums were born in New Zealand.
As much as I wish I was.
So we could answer your question.
So that like, to be fair, like half-caste islanders are so beautiful.
I think so.
I used to be so jealous.
Me too. Because I feel like they've got that mix.
Yeah, or all mixed actually.
Yeah.
All mixed kids are so like, they have this another level beauty.
Yeah. And this glow.
Yeah.
And because when we were kids, we didn't feel that.
No.
Because we're brown. That's it. We're just brown.
Yeah.
There's no way an Aussie's going to look at us and be like, you're white.
Exactly. You're Arab. I never in my life ever got that.
Really?
Everyone who would look at me straight away knew I'm Samoan, like, or I'm Polynesian. Like, there's no mistaking any other culture.
Yeah.
But like, for Rob to like think at first I was Arab.
I feel like that's all right. Like,
yeah, he particularly thought I was Egyptian.
Oh.
But it was mainly because of the way I had my hair and my eyeliner.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Egyptian.
Ooh.
Exotic. But yeah, because I ask Jordan sometimes, because I try and pretend like I'm anything besides Samoan. I'll be like, what do I look like? And he's like, you look like a poly. Like, you look pop. I don't know what. He's like, what do you want me to say? Like, you're from Morocco or something? I'm like, nah, but be honest, when you look at me, what do you see? And he's like, I see a brown island girl. Like, what do you, I don't know, understand the question.
Yeah. Yeah. And like for us that are full like islander or full Samoan, whatever, like for us that are full, we envy those that are half. Like, so like, I think because we know that, I don't know, like, is it true that mixed kids are actually a lot more good looking?
I feel like they are.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this because all our children so far are all Afakasi kids.
Oh yeah. The next generation.
They're gonna look at us and be like, those are your parents? Arab.
Yeah, that was just one person. He must have been on something. But yeah, straight away. That's
what I'm going off. Yeah. And I've also seen Afakasi. There's so many beautiful Afakasis out there anyway, like in different industries where they're just so beautiful. And I'm not saying means the rest of us are not beautiful.
Yeah.
There's also beautiful full Samoan women out there, but we also like, we're not going to beat around the bush. Like we're going to acknowledge as well, Afakasis are freaking beautiful, man.
The like they bring a different look to, you know, like the Samoan.
Yeah.
Like for the Samoan side, it's like you know the predominant features of a Samoan person. Yeah. But then when you have a mixed, you know, Samoan in the group, you can see that like, you know, there's another mix that just Yeah.
But I feel like all, like whether you're full or part or half or whatever, we're still saying we're all beautiful guys. But we're also just, because a lot of Afakasis I know, they feel out of place because they don't know where they fit in. So when they're with Palangis, they just like, they're not Palangi enough. And then when they're around Sa or Polynesian people, they're not poly enough. So I'm just like, I'd love to talk to an Afakasi who's experienced that.
True.
Because I don't understand it. Like even though we get mistaken for Afakasi, I don't identify as Afakasi.
Same.
I'm just like, what do you mean?
I would like love if somebody thought I was Afakasi.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh no, that's what a compliment.
Oh, really? Maybe. I think there's German somewhere. Somewhere in my great grandparents.
Oh man. Well, apparently there is, but I need facts first. I need the actual like tangible evidence.
But there's no mistaking. This is full. Like, when you look at all those beautiful like mixed islanders out there, like I wish.
No, you're beautiful as well. But no, I think I still find it, I don't find it hard to identify myself anymore, but I'm just straight now. I'm just like, I'm Samoan. Yeah. And then if they ask you, but where are you born? I was born in Australia, but I'm Samoan. Yeah. And even when I get some Samoans who sort of, because some of them think we're Afakasi because we're not as dark, I suppose. Some of them or not Samoan enough, whether it's my complexion or whether it's the amount of knowledge I have. That's how they judge on whether I'm Samoan or not.
True. And also, like, I think it's mainly how fluent you are. Yeah. So if you're fluent in English and not
like you're Fat Samoa.
Yeah, and not you're like you're not like it's like broken Fat Samoa sort of thing. It's like, oh yeah, maybe you're mixed. That explains why.
That's why you're not full. Yeah. But then they try and tell you you're not full.
Yeah. Well, to that, I think that most like Samoans are like, if you're full, what's your excuse to not know the language? Okay. Like, yeah, I get that sometimes.
I understand, but I think with us, it's like a culture outside of our own culture.
Yeah.
Like we're outside of Samoa and we're born in another country. Yeah. It's completely different. Yeah. To actual like native born Sas. Yeah. Like our dads are completely different to our mums.
To our mums. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's, but I don't like that. I don't like when I tell someone I'm full, especially for me, what I've experienced, it's with other islanders. So when I say I'm full and they say, no, you're not, I'm just like, okay, explain to me why I'm not.
Oh, I've never experienced that. But yeah.
No, I've had that. They'll be like, no, you're not. And I'll be like, why? And they'll be like, because you're like whitewashed or you're too.
To be fair, I mean, to be honest, like you could pass as a half caste. No. This get like, because you're fair, you're like, growing up, you were always like the white one in the family.
I don't feel like that because I used to be very sporty and dark as. Like my youngest brother, I feel like I look exactly like him. No. Okay, never mind. No, you didn't.
I have evidence.
Okay, yeah.
You're white.
Okay. I actually do have photos. But there's some photos when I used to be more into my athletic side. I'm so much.
Yeah. But you can see that was tan. Like that was like sunburn.
So I identify as sunburn
because I like in out of my siblings, like I'm one of the dark, like me and one brother are probably the only dark ones in like out of all of them. But then later on, as they, they got older, and the more we live here in Australia in summer and the sun, we're like, they're actually getting darker too. Like, we're like, it's sort of almost balancing out. But before, they were all the white kids.
Yeah.
And like, and I'll be straight up, but like, there are certain Samoans as well, like true, like the old school ones that favor
the Afakasis.
No.
Oh.
Favor the light-skinned kids.
Okay.
Over the other kids.
Yeah.
Like, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But there are like, I have people in my family that are like that.
Yeah.
That favor, the fairer kids over the darker kids. And I think like, because there's a, everyone knows Afakasis, like, they're beautiful, mostly because of their features, but mostly because they're fair. So any other fair, Samoan or whatever, I think like, they're like, oh, it must be Afakasi. But like, either way, if the lighter you are, the more favored you are for some reason.
Yeah. Like, I haven't experienced that, but I do know there's been instances where there's other like people who are a lot more favored than others.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've experienced like me being treated differently to some, a sibling that was lighter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's okay. I forgive you. Anyway, but you actually just gave me an awesome idea. I think that's what I'm going to say from now on when people ask me what I am. I think I'll just say New Zealand born.
Yeah. Because sometimes I have to clarify.
Yeah.
And then if it offends anyone, then I'm so up for just like you. I'm so ready to like have a conversation with that person. Like, well, I'm not going to fight them.
Yeah.
But I just don't like that when I tell someone that and then they say, no, you're not. And then I'm like,
why would you say, no, you're not?
But then I'm like, why did you ask me then? Why did you even want to know if you're just going to say no?
But why would they say, no, you're not?
It depends on who, like, again, if who I'm talking to.
Okay.
Palangi is for me in school. If I say I'm Australian born Samoan, they're like, no, because you're brown. You're not Australian.
Yeah.
And then if I tell a Samoan or another poly, I'm Samoan, I was born here, but I'm Samoan, they're like, no, you're not. You're not Samoan enough.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but who are you to tell me what I am? I was like, what are you then?
I'm Samoan.
Yeah, and then that's another thing. I am Samoan because I do this and I do that. And my fat Samoa is like way like above your level and that's fine. Like I'm not gonna just deny that my fat Samoa isn't as fluent or as I'm not that much in touch with my Samoan side, as another person. Like I'm not gonna deny that. But don't ask someone. I don't know if any of you do this, but don't ask someone what they are and then they tell you and then you say, no, you're not. Because you'll get this glare. I just stared at them like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
So what am I? So it's Australians are like, no, you're not because you're not white. And then Samoans, no, you're not because you're fat Samoa and you're not brown enough. And I think that's probably what Afakasis go through because I'd love to understand what they go actually like experience from because they're actually Afakasis.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I'm not even Afakasi.
We're actually full.
We're full.
We're full Samoan.
And I'm still being told by people, no, you're not. You're not Australian. Yeah. You're not Samoan. And then I'm like, so I'm not female or?
There was this one time I got asked, like, what are you? And I said Samoan. And then they said, like, they gave me that look. Like, oh, okay. Well, where's your dad from?
Yeah.
Like, it was like, okay, but like, how Samoan are you?
Yeah.
So then they'll go, where's your dad from? And then I'll say, dad's from Sakawa. And they're like, okay, tick.
Oh, yeah. Tick. It's like they have their little...
Where's your mom from? I was like, New Zealand. Oh, so then you're half.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, but she's full Samoan.
Yeah.
Where are her parents from?
Yeah. But then that means she's Māori. How does that mean she's Māori? Because then it ends up turning into sometimes heated arguments because it's just like I've never gone to a person and asked, what are you? And then they tell me and then I'm like, no, you're not.
Because they like, but I think it's like you end up where the conversation ends up. You're talking about your great grandparents, like who are probably from like freaking, I don't know,
Africa or something. Like, what is another? Are you a professor or something? What is going on here? Like, I get frustrated. I do. I'm not gonna lie. I get frustrated with anyone who asks me, and then they dismiss it like, no, you can't be, or no, you're not, or whatever. Because I'm like, don't ask me a question then.
Actually, when we went to the States, we were in LA.
Oh yeah,
and Rob and his brother got asked all the time where they're from, and they actually said from Australia.
Oh,
yeah. So it wasn't we were from South Africa. It was like, we're from Australia, which was like interesting. But everybody always asked them to, but no one asked me what I was because they knew straight away Samoan.
Yeah,
and it's like, and actually in a way it made me proud because. Like Samoans are sort of like known over there now.
Yeah.
Like before, like here, when I first came here, no one knew what a Samoan was. And then to go to, the States and then no one sort of, because they know already. And I'm like, wow, like it means that, like Samoans are known.
Yeah.
People know what a Samoan is.
Yeah.
Like I was actually like pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Maybe it's different because when you travel, because I do the same. So like I've been on like cruises and stuff and then they'll ask me where I'm from and some of them are from Australia as well. So then I'll be like, I'm from Sydney. And then they're just like, oh, okay. I meant where you from? So it depends because I've also gone overseas and they ask me where I'm from. And I'm like, oh, I'm from Australia. And then they look at you like you're not like Aussie.
Oh, I get the opposite.
Yeah.
Like when I go overseas and they say, where are you from? And then I say Sydney or Australia. And they're like, oh, me too. Like, and then they're like, oh, it's like you almost form a bond because you're from the same country. It's not about ethnicity anymore. Yeah. It's more like you guys grew up in the same areas. Yeah. Certain, suburbs now, there's something in common. So they don't really judge, if I say I'm from Sydney. Yeah. They're just like, oh, me too. Like, whereabouts? And then we start a conversation. So it's like more of a bonding thing.
Yeah. I guess it depends on who's asking.
Yeah.
Again, it just comes back to that because your answer depends on who's asking.
Yeah. But also it's hard to identify ourselves as well because we also switch our answers wherever we go.
That makes sense.
And it depends who we're talking to as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my thing now is I just say I'm Samoan and then I wait for them to ask.
True.
So like I'm anticipating them to like, that's going to be their following question. If I say Samoan and that's it, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But if they ask, but where were you born? And then I'll explain. And then if that's it, then that's it. But if it leads to anything further, I'm like, I'm down for a conversation if you want to have one. Like,
yeah, true.
Why are you laughing at me?
Because I'm down for
but I am
round one.
I am. No, I'm honest. I'm honestly I'm really keen to have a conversation with someone and they can explain to me their reasons for that sort of like mindset.
True.
Because sometimes when I hear it, it's just ignorance, and then I have to explain to them. Okay, no, that's not what it is. Especially like for me, I hate to say it, but the main people I get it from is other islanders.
Yeah.
When they say, no, you're not, or like, you're not Samoan enough or something, I'm just like, okay, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And then when we discuss it, I'm not gonna lie, it does get a bit like, I do get a bit angry and they get a bit angry because I'm like, why are you offended? It's almost as if they're offended that I've said I'm Samoan.
Yeah.
And then after all that, it's just, when I've realized, okay, you're just not, you're just ignorant.
Like someone just say, I'm Asian.
I'm European.
Chinese. You couldn't tell?
Exactly. But yeah, so I think with that awesome question, like what do we identify as? For me, I identify as an Australian-born Samoan.
True.
And if I have to go into elaborate on that, I'm just like, my mum was born in New Zealand and my dad's born in Samoa, but both are Samoan, and that's it. Until I know anything further, but I don't know. Like, who really knows? Like great-great-great-great-grandparents. Like, I'd love to know.
Just for clarity, for me, I'm full Samoan. So I'm Samoan.
Yeah.
Born in New Zealand, raised in Australia.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Like, that's... Because
I also don't identify myself as Kiwi anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like it's I wasn't there long enough. Like, I'm now gone past more years in Australia than in New Zealand to be able to call myself a Kiwi.
Whereas with our mums, they're a ride or die like Kiwis.
Oh, yeah.
They will, like, no matter how long they've been here. I'm how old am I? 27 this year. Yeah. That's how long my mum's been here. And she will still, like, to this day tell you she's a Kiwi. And that's cool too, because she is.
So it's we're Samoan.
Yeah.
I'm born in New Zealand, raised in Australia. My dad's Samoan.
Yeah.
My mom's Kiwi.
You make sure you get it right.
And that's it. I don't want to go further.
And then you have to go into all this other stuff. My friends are from China and
I thought it was simple as well. Like, we're just we're full Samoan. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, imagine the next generation who are so mixed.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out how Brooklyn's going to identify herself. And I feel like as long as she knows and she's comfortable and she's happy with who she is, she won't have any problems explaining to someone. I want her to be able to sort of be like me, where I'm upfront, where I can tell someone like it is, and she can do the same.
Yeah.
So if that person doesn't agree, she can talk to them about it and educate that person and be like, well, no, that's not correct.
Yeah.
The reason why is like this, like X, Y, or Z.
And no one, look, whatever the person prefers to judge themselves, identify themselves as, don't judge them.
Yeah.
For me, I would want Brody to grow up and be proud of both sides.
Yeah.
I want him to be proud and say, I'm half Samoan, half South African.
Yeah.
Without, people judging.
Yeah.
Even if he was to turn around and say, I'm Samoan.
Yeah.
Or
if he's like, I'm South African.
Yeah.
Because it's not wrong.
Yeah. Because they are.
It's actually facts.
Well, why do you need to know how much percentage of that blood is in?
Yeah.
Whatever they want to identify as, just leave it as that.
And we're not saying extreme instances where identify as a tree. That's not what we're saying.
Even if they want to identify as a tree. Or a dog. Or that's another. Nah, but I guess for anything, if somebody wants to identify themselves,
yeah.
If they're saying to you, this is what I identify myself as, just go with it.
Yeah.
Don't challenge.
Yeah.
Don't challenge them.
Yeah.
That's who they believe they are.
Yeah. And if it's not hurting anybody, then what's it to you, man?
Exactly. But yeah.
I think that's another thing in general, labels is just.
I think I'm just going to go around and say, I'm plastic Samoan.
I'm not plastic Samoan.
I'll be like, what? I'm Samoan. I don't know how to speak it. I don't know much about it. If you want to label me plastic Samoan, fine then.
Yeah.
But I think I'll make it a good thing.
Yeah. I will wear it.
I'll make it a trend. What does it matter?
Yeah. But there's always going to be people who aren't going to be happy with whatever you say you are.
Yeah.
And those people are just that's a them problem.
Yeah. But it is what it is. We're legit full Samoan.
Yeah.
She was born in Australia. I was born in New Zealand.
But even when I say that sometimes, so your dad's white. Where did that come from?
Yeah. Is he white?
It's the whitest Samoan I've ever seen. What? Where did that come from? I'm getting heated because the sort of like rebuttals I get back. I can't fathom that there would be questions that I would get asked back because I'm just like, what do you mean? I had just said I'm Australian born Samoan. So your dad's white? No.
Maybe just spell it or
I don't know. I think in those when those situations arise, I'm just like, I try and have the patience to try and explain.
Mm.
Haven't you ever had those sorts of reactions?
I think because they look at me anyway, and if I was to say I'm Samoan, there's no question. Like, they just don't challenge me.
Okay.
Unless it's like, but I haven't really had a Samoan sort of look at me and be a challenge.
Mm.
Like, I've been judged because I don't know how to speak the language, but they can't deny that. I'm Samoan.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I am. Like, that's what's in my blood. Like,
see, I didn't even realize we have dealt with different circumstances. Like, we've experienced different things. Because I'm thinking you've probably gone through it too.
No.
But I've had like not heaps. I'm not saying heaps. Majority of the time when someone asks me what I am and I say I'm Samoan, that's it.
I think the only parts where I get challenged is when I used to refer to myself as a Kiwi. That was it.
Oh.
Yeah. And to me, that was just more like going off, well, I was born in New Zealand. Would I not be a Kiwi? And then like people would challenge me that way. Yeah.
But all those Karens, just relax, man.
Yeah. But I think I got more issues when I identified myself as a Kiwi than when I identified myself as Samoan.
Okay. So
I think I just went with the less stressful one.
Because you're good because you don't like confrontation.
No.
So I think that's why. Whereas me, I'm not wired that way.
Yeah.
So if it's gonna cause confrontation, then I need to explain why.
True. Yeah. Because you don't take shit. Whereas me, like, if I know that this is going to be
But you think before you speak.
No, well, yeah, but if I know where it's going, like, I end up being like a smartass.
That's true.
So like I'll say,
I have 27 years of experience to back that up.
Oh, Filipino.
Oh yeah. You do that though, but then it makes it funnier because if you look at her, you cannot deny that my cousin is a Samoan. Like, or if you're not going to guess Samoan, you know she's Polynesian.
Yeah,
like you know she's an island girl. And I sort of envy that because I feel really disrespected when someone tells me, like they ask me, and then they're like, "No, you're not," or yeah.
So I envy that because like, no, more because like you don't look full Samoan. So, like, you know, the same way we look at half caste where they're like, you know, they're lucky, sort of, they're beautiful. So like, because they think you're half caste or they believe you're mixed, it's like, to me, I see it as a compliment. In a way, like it's more like turning a negative situation into a positive.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, well, in a way that's kind of like good because they're saying you're beautiful. Like you can't like it's sad because people, you know, like, you know, automatically when people think you're mixed, like, you know, they know you're beautiful, or when they look at you and they think you're beautiful, they think you're mixed.
Yeah.
They don't believe that you're full.
Okay. I understand that, but I think for me, I'm not wired that way. Where
you
I
just
want to
fight.
I don't look at it as a compliment for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm proud of who I am. As much as there's times where like we're not always confident about ourselves and stuff. I'm proud of who I am. And when I'm telling you what I am and then you feel the need to turn it. And sometimes like if they said it in a way where it was
like a genuine
like if
question.
They said, I honestly thought you were part this, or you're afakasi, or I would take that. I'd be like, okay, they're saying it in a manner that's not offensive.
Like, but if you're
they're genuinely being like, okay, like I honestly thought you weren't full. Like, are you sure you're not? Well, not even are you sure, but if they ask like, I honestly thought you were something else and Samoan or something else and Pacifica. But when you get those instances where they just dismiss you and they're like, no, you're not. Well, then you're obviously gonna get. And I hope you have people like Julia who'll tell you to avoid confrontation. They'll just start being smart and be like, yeah, I'm Japanese. Ohayo gozaimasu, man. Like I hope, because if you come across, it depends on who you speak to, and for me, I don't think I'm nearly as crazy as Julia makes me out to be.
Yeah, no, she's not. Like,
yeah. But for me, like I can have a conversation, and if we disagree, then we disagree.
Yeah.
But I feel like I need to warn you, if you're gonna react like that to someone who's not gonna take it that either of these ways, you're gonna have problems.
Yeah. And like with you, like if someone's gonna challenge you, you will challenge them back.
Yeah.
Like you won't sort of sit there and sort of take what they're saying, which is like, because you've always been that type to like, if you want to just like disrespect me, like you will like sort of stand your ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas my take is more like just avoid.
Yeah. But you do it in a funny way. We just like, I'm actually half Irish and and then it breaks the tension. Whereas I think for me,
there's some like I've had some that get upset.
Well, then that's a them problem. That's definitely a them problem, because you can't.
But I laugh because
that's all that matters in the end.
Especially when they get upset.
Yeah. Well, it's like, stupid questions get stupid answers. Pretty much. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Like that's Julie's version, and my version is like, if you're up for a debate, you better have like an hour's worth of time to debate with me.
Yeah.
But I appreciate those who sort of understand after.
Yeah.
They turn around, they're like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Like I didn't mean to offend you. I worded it wrong. For me, I straight away go back to being like calm. I'm just like, oh, okay, well then we can meet each other like halfway. But if you have those people who are just like, again, dismissive, and they tell you what you are, and you just don't do that.
No.
Just don't do it. Just be a human being is all I'm trying to say.
Accept what they're saying.
Because there's other people who get angry at people who brag about like heaps of what they are. Like, I don't even think that's proper English. But if they just say like, oh, I'm part Irish, I'm part German, my mum's Samoan, like even those instances, people are like, oh, just shut up. So you're never gonna please anyone, I suppose.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't even like. A lot of people don't even sort of get offended when they get called fruit salad too. I
don't get offended. And even then, I'm just like, if I'm a fruit salad, I'm just two fruits.
Yeah. Like that. No, some people like, I even think my partner doesn't even like, because like when I first met him and he would tell me what he was, I'm like, oh, you're just a fruit salad.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's easier than what like I have to go through.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's that kind of joking around, and then there's actually people who genuinely just want to, challenge what you are, and, no, because I know what you are.
Yeah.
In the 5 minutes I met you, I know what you are.
Yeah. And then you're just like, okay.
Yeah. Well, that was that topic.
I feel like we're ending very tense, like after our videos lately.
I know. I feel it's so hot in this room.
I think so. I think it's bringing out all of this feisty attitude. But I think we're just really passionate about what we're saying, and that's all we're trying to convey in our podcast is, But if you, bottom line is, for me, I identify as an Australian-born Samoan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Samoan. Born in New Zealand, raised in Australia.
Yeah, and that's it. So whatever you guys identify as, like, embrace that. Don't let anyone tell you, no, you're not, or whatever.
Yeah.
And even the Afakasis, I'd love to get an Afakasi's point of view. So what they go through. So
yeah, I mean, hopefully soon we will start interviewing. We're actually not interviewing, but we'll have guests on the show. Give us a heads up also if you would like to be a guest on the show.
Yeah, we'd love anyone's point of view because I feel like we're so relatable that we sort of agree on things.
Yeah,
well, not all things, but but if you don't agree, love to chat.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening.
Appreciate all the support, man. I cannot stress enough like how grateful and appreciative and the love that we're getting.
And the feedback. We appreciate any sort of feedback we get. And we do, we try our best to respond. And all props to all those that have given us like topic ideas. If you have any more, please feel free to share.
And those who have given us topics and we haven't said anything, it's still in the works. So don't think that we just didn't want to do them or anything. It's still in the works. So don't worry about it.
Awesome. All right. Bye.
Bye.